Hi everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training here at fmtrain.tv. I am the general instigator of mayhem at fmtrain.tv, which is a wonderful website where you can see all sorts of great people doing great FileMaker training and sharing their tips and tricks and insights with you. This is Claus Lavendt. Claus is awesome. Before we get to Claus, let's run through some quick announcements. So over here on the announcement side of things, we've been solidifying our conversation. We can still see you, Claus, so don't do anything too badly up there. We're going to see you. You go to fmtrain.tv, press the live tab, top left corner, scroll down. You can see real FileMaker data on our real web page. As we say, we eat our own dog food here. Not only do we talk about FileMaker, we actually use it to solve our daily problems. And so this is a page right here that takes the latest 6 records of schedule information and publishes them out for public access. So here you can see Claus Lavendt, today's developer tips. This will be a good topic for today. Tomorrow, Google email access. And it's pretty much this issue where Google's turning off their basic SMTP emails. You have to do OAuth authentication, and that starts for free accounts with Google in the next couple weeks. There's going to be some people who are going to have broken FileMaker solutions if they don't think about this soon. Then Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday are kind of interesting. So Monday is going to be a 19.5 kind of recap of what's coming, what's on plate, a loose conversation about 19.6, and then we will be demoing, and this makes absolutely no sense in terms of numbering. From your perspective, from the public perspective, it makes no sense, but from inside the halls of Claris, this makes perfect sense. Which is we will be showing you FileMaker 20. How we managed to skip 19.5 and 19.6. I didn't even bother asking Claris about this. I just kind of like, there's so many fires down there. It's like, I'm just going to pick the fires, the biggest flames, and squirt extinguisher spray on them. Try to put out the fire. So we will be showing FileMaker Pro 20. Apparently, it's been designated as not non-disclosure. A couple of you have seen some random videos that are up on the internet where a person kind of walked through at a high speed. So the goal is for you to kind of see what we're doing on Monday, and then Andy Lacates from Claris will be here. He is the director or the head person or the vice president. I probably should be a vice president at this point. He's been there long enough. Vice president of product evangelism. That would be Andy Lacates, and so he will be here on Tuesday to answer your questions. So I expect all of you people who normally give me a hard time, honestly, give me a really difficult time, especially David Angel. I expect you to make Andy feel welcome. And I need you to do it kind of in a PG-13 way. Don't get too crazy with it, but I need you to just, ask him the hard questions. Ask him the questions. Don't save the questions for Wednesday for me when he's gone. Ask your questions about what's going on with him on Tuesday. That would be great. Then important, the 30-day CRM, 0 to custom CRM in 30 days starts Wednesday. We pushed it back 2 days because Andy insisted that he comes on Tuesday. So we are accommodating Andy on that. That's great. So that's that part of it. Let's see. What other announcements? Margaret, do we have any other announcements here? Margaret's here. She's our broadcast engineer.
Yes, I don't think so. I think you covered pretty much all of them.
Today is kind of an interesting deal. So Claus Lavendt runs a company in the EU, and I'm going to jump to his face here. Here comes his face. There he is, big smile. One of the sharpest FileMaker developer people I know. If you went out there and named their top 5 or 10 people in terms of FileMaker skill sets and stuff, to be very clear, I am not on that list at all. I'm just the guy who talks a lot on TV. But Claus here is one of those top 10 people. And so we try to get him here as often as we can. It's Data Manix, right? Data Manix is the name of the company, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And so why are you here today, and why should we listen to you? Why the hell should we care? That's what I always ask people. Why should we care?
I don't know if you should care. The reason I'm here is because you asked me, and thank you very much.
Oh, I'm such a bad person. So, but what are we talking about? Like, seriously, like you said, take my own medicine. Is that like?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that what we do every day is that we try to optimize people's workflow and make life easier for all our customers or colleagues that we are building solutions for. And we are trying to speed up the process so they don't have to do daunting tasks. What I've seen both with myself over the years, but also with many other colleagues, is that we could use a little bit of optimization ourselves. And there is a lot of great tools. So I just thought, hey, maybe we could chat a little bit about some of the tools
that's the take your own medicine part. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's take your own medicine. So if we should help optimizing our customers, then we should also optimize ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
So why do something in a stupid way if we can do it in a smarter way?
Cool.
It's pretty much about habits.
Cool.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, that was the idea for today.
Okay, cool. I want to welcome Daryl Hampton from Salt Lake City, Ace Estimate which is Bob in Miami, and Ruben is floating around. Ruben's a former Oracle person who somehow found out that FileMaker was great. So cool. And there's a bunch of people who lurk. If you're a lurker and you wanted to say hi, just put your first name in. I don't need all your, I'm 583 pounds and 6'4" and very good looking, right? We don't need any of your personal stuff, just first name and maybe your city where you're from if you want to just let us know, especially if you're on Twitch, because the Twitch people really are quietly hiding. They do that quite a bit. Drew Simpson's a long-time lurker. Welcome, Drew. All right, cool. So I'm going to switch to full screen on you. You want to go to your screen, Claus?
Yeah. So, yeah, and thank you for being here, everyone. Okay. All right, so the first thing that, or something that I think most people actually use every single day is copy and paste, right?
Yep.
That's awesome, right? However, if you need to copy and paste a lot of things all the time, then, and let's say you need to copy 5 pieces and paste them instead of copying one by one, copy and then paste in place. Let's say you have something you need to copy from a layout and paste it into another layout or from a script or whatever. It gets a little bit daunting if you need to do that all the time. So I have a little tool. There's different tools out there, but it brings me up a clip holder, or I don't know what they call it, but I have defined that it can hold up to 100 clips, I think, or maybe even more.
So it's like the clipboard. It's like the visualization of the clipboard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an extension. It's a little app here where I can see everything. So I just copied something. So that will be the first one I can paste in. As you can see, I also just pasted in the topic for today. But if we scroll down here, you can see here's an icon for the FileMaker, and it says 1866 bytes. So this is something I have copied from FileMaker. It could be an object, it could be a table, anything you can copy from inside FileMaker. The thing I know when I see this is that this is a FileMaker object. It's not a text that I just by incident copied from FileMaker. This is a FileMaker object, and basically inside this object there's it's formatted as an XML snippet. We are gonna get back to that later. But let's say you have a calculation like this one was something we just worked on earlier today, and it's super handy to have your clips in this clip manager. This particular tool I've used 2 over the years. I used a different one some years ago for a long time. I think they ran out of, I don't know if it got deprecated or whatever, but I found this tool instead, copy and paste, which is super awesome. It has this pasteboard gallery, you could say, but you can also go in and say, hey, I only want to see FileMaker stuff. So this is stuff I have copied from FileMaker. As you can see, it's not only the objects I have copied from FileMaker, but also actual text or calculations in here, or UUIDs, so I can filter them down or to the other applications I have. So there's some great filtering in here. I can even favorite some and say, oh, these are my go-to. So it could be, yeah, okay, apparently that was something I have been using, but there's also a FileMaker object there. So and beside this, it gives you a ton of other things. If you are a guy like me, well, let me just stop myself here, because I just want to point out a lot of the things I'm going to show today is working on Mac. For most of it, there are Windows alternatives, but I don't have the answers for that. So if you're on Mac,
you hate Windows people.
no, I know I don't. But no. I don't hate Windows people. I don't hate people. But I'm not very fond of Windows, but that's another thing. There's nothing to do with the people.
I understand that. I always try to make sure people, if at all possible, we make Christian Schmidt come back and do Windows only days because he was doing so much Mac stuff. But yes, let me just ask: is this on this one tool? This is TextMate. Is that what this is?
No. It's
You're gonna show us?
Show you. It's in here.
Ooh, screenshot
it's
time.
in here, and I did send a list of topics, including links to Margaret. So I'm sure she will publish that somewhere after the session here. So you'll get all the links. So don't worry about that. But this is a tool you can get in the App Store. One of the things that is great. Okay, so leave it. So there's a lot of stuff here that is Mac, maybe Mac only, but there's Windows alternatives to most of it. But most of the particular tools I'm showing is Mac only here. Many people, myself included, is using more than one Mac. So if you're signed in with your Apple ID on 2 Macs, the great thing is that when you bring up your paste, what's it called? Clipboard, yeah.
Clipboard, yep.
Then you can see stuff from the other computer, or if you have multiplied. Okay, so let me actually just grab something from a computer that is next to me, and let's see if it's working. This wasn't there before. I just copied this from an email on my other computer.
Is it using your Apple ID? Is that what it's using to?
It's using Apple ID, and it's using the iCloud storage for applications to share these things. But this is really cool if you are working on something very big and you need to get stuff from different places and can use 2 computers. Then it's so awesome to copy and paste. Or sometimes you are working on on one project on one computer, and then you need to do something on another project on the other computer. But actually, you need let's say a calculation or something that like this one. Say, oh, this calculation is more or less the same I just need for the other project, and then you just have it on your pasteboard. So I think this is a really cool application. Now, because I bought this, I am actually not sure
how much it was. Is it cheap?
How much it was? I think it was around $25 or something in that area.
Well, if it really works and you use it all the time, it's worth $25. That's easy. I'm over here at the Clipboard Manager discovering it. Price is $14.99. $14.99 is the price.
Okay,
US
even
dollars.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
Even cheaper. All right. It's I think it's an awesome tool.
We're clapping for it. That's us clapping. You understand that's a positive thing, right? You hear that?
Yeah.
Good.
So, and the great thing is that I think is that in the old tool I was using, I had the F12 as a key to bring it up. This one, but you can actually decide how do you want this to come up. There's the iCloud sync. blah blah blah. Okay,
Okay, hang on
can't
one
remember
second.
where, but there's a lot of options. I just wanted to say it has a ton of options. I think you can even take screenshots and so on with this. So there's a lot of options in here, and you can bring the tool. You can set your key that you want to use for bringing it on. You can use. My colleague is using Shift Command V instead of just Command V. So whenever he do Shift Command V, then he brings it up. I'm used to using the F12, so I just set it to that.
Okay.
So this is kind of a cool tool, I think. So this is making me much more productive. You kind of have to get used to it, that you can just copy 3, 4, 5, 10 things at the time, and then just go and paste it. So also, if you are looking for some specific records and you have, let's say, 4 or 5 UUIDs that you need to find in another context, you can just copy those up and then go to the other context and do your search there. So yeah, this was the first cool tool. So let's say, okay, so let's bring up the data viewer.
Next.
Okay, so let me get back here. So let's say I'm in here, so I have a calculation, and let's say I want to do a execute SQL stuff, right? So what is how do I write that? So I could start doing execute SQL, but then I need to replace this stuff here, but I know I have a way I want to write this statement. So let's say I'm just saying SQL select, and now something magically appeared. Okay, should we do it again?
Okay.
SQL select. So what happened here? It was a execute SQL. That came up, but it say, hey, I want to do select, and I'm going to show you in a minute why I said select instead of just SQL something. Then I have a custom function I always use, get field name, and that's the field name, not the full field name, but the just the field name, because that's what you need to use for execute SQL. Then from the table, get table name, and that will take only the table name from it. And then I have another custom function I'm using where a match field equals or bigger or less than or whatever, and the value. So this is pretty much kind of the start of a execute SQL select statement when I write it. So this is this is to my likings.
Okay, and did this came out of monkey bread, or where did this come out of?
No, it didn't. So let me just SQL
DE
insert,
is base
right?
elements, I think. Yeah. Okay.
So this is the insert statement, because if and then you need a plugin to do an insert. So you could use the base elements, or you could use monkey bread, or you could use well, I'm not sure do SQL is around anymore. Anyway, there's a couple of plugins that can do SQL statements, insert, update, delete, because that's already in the FileMaker Draco engine, but FileMaker only exposes the execute SQL.
By the way, real quick, everyone. So what he just said is on the certification test. So I'm just going to take a quick moment for those of you who are studying. I know some of you have been studying. Does it the execute SQL function, right? We're talking about the function, right?
Yeah.
The function, execute SQL can do all sorts. They can add data, edit, delete. That's normal SQL. But the function, right? The function in FileMaker only does select, which is a fancy word of saying find. Go find this data, show us this data. And so there's the execute SQL function. There's also the execute SQL script step, which are totally different. Right. So
but the script step to be fair, Richard,
Mhm.
the script step is about querying an external data source.
Correct.
So you cannot use it to query or do anything within
Internally,
FileMaker.
correct. Yeah, that's
Not
also,
internally,
yeah.
but
But
the execute SQL
mhm.
calculation function is a SQL function that queries only do the select, so do a find within FileMaker.
Yeah. And so if we want to do
Right?
an insert, which is what he's saying here, then we would have to use a plugin or something like that, right? So
Yeah, yeah. You need to use a plugin. That's the only way. But if you have a plugin in your toolbox, you can use this. There's a reason why I'm showing this. It's not because I'm saying, hey, let's go crazy on SQL. It's just about saying, hey, if you need to write a SQL statement, the syntax is something if you don't do it every day, many times a day, then you always need to, oh, how is it I need to formulate the
mhm.
statement here?
Yep, that's me.
Exactly, but the same for me actually. So this is an update. But the cool thing is not about the statement itself. It's that I'm typing in SQL insert, right? And then it turns magically into the full statement. So how is that done? That's done by, where is it? Here. A tool called Typinator. There is a couple of tools out there, of course. One is called like this. This is Typinator. There's Text Expander, I know. And there's a couple of more. I'm using Typinator just because I've been using this for many years. So what you do in here is, let's find it. You set up an abbreviation, and let me see. Here was the insert. So this is the abbreviation where I say whenever I type in this pattern, replace it with whatever is in here.
Yep.
So it's you could say this is autocomplete on steroids.
Yep. I like that.
So there's also another, like my logo, so it can actually put in image files as well.
Really?
There is well, different types here. Type URL, that's if I can't remember it, or WBR. So you can just sign something if you don't have your signature. For example, you can set it up to only work in different, in specific apps, or you can make them work across all apps. This is a tool, I think it's about $60-$70, depends on.
Okay, we'll go
single
research
user
that.
or
Did you buy it on the App
whatever.
Store too? You buy it on the App
No,
Store?
it's well, Margaret has the link.
Okay, Margaret,
So
link,
it's
go.
it's also in the Slack channel. Another more well, more recent one is like the while calculation, where yeah. So if you type in while, you get this one, and I always want to, format the statement so I can see and work with the stuff here, as well as, make sure that we have count and total and so on, and then I can start building my statement.
Okay.
But instead of starting from scratch, then I have this shortcut or abbreviation that I can use, and then it just fills in the calculation, and then I'm starting not from scratch, but from a starting point that I decided. It's not about what FileMaker decided or anyone else. No, it's what I decided to be my abbreviation.
Real quick on this. So we put the link, Margaret. We need to cross post those links in YouTube and Twitch if you can get in there. This product is. I just went to the look at that. The product is pretty cheap. It's €24.99, which is basically $6 US. So it's pretty inexpensive for a single user
Yep.
license. And then Labo404 says he uses ATEX for Windows, ATEX for Windows. And then David Angel says he has a video talking about free tool to automate repetitive boring tests. I don't know if it's any good. It's called Auto Hotkey. I probably has an in-app upsell somewhere, right? David Angel, probably. So, okay.
I think I have an alternative actually later on.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
Okay. Anyway, another thing I've seen, maybe everyone knows this, but I've actually seen people who have been working with FileMaker or development for many years who actually didn't realize that when you have, let's find something good. So let's say we have a text in here. I just copied from the website. That you could actually use the Option key and the arrow keys to jump word by word instead of using one character at the time or using the mouse all the time.
Okay.
The same if you want to select, then you hold Option and Shift and do a selection here, or you use the command to jump to the first character at the line or the to the right to the last character of the line, and you can do like that. This is very basic stuff, but I've seen that many people are actually not using it. So that was on my list as well.
Okay.
So shortcuts. All right. I love this part. So I'm going to get back to this. But we use all the time the script debugger and the data viewer. What you can see is that I have a shortcut for that, right? You can see that here. I have a shortcut here. Option, Shift, Command,
Shortcut.
and
Yeah,
S,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
For script debugger. This shortcut is not a default shortcut.
No. So
No,
that's all. What the three option? No, that's
something.
Shift Command. Wait a minute. Shift Command and then Option. Is that what that is, or is that Control?
Shift Option Command Option Shift Command S.
It's all of mine is with not Control. So all the keys without Control. Okay. All right. I like that.
But this is something I just set up. The thing is that there should be shortcuts for these two, because that's tools that we are using all the time when we are doing FileMaker development. But there is no shortcuts for that. Anyway, there's a solution for that. When you're on Mac, and there's a couple of applications for Windows, I know. I don't think they have something built in maybe yet. Maybe it will come. But if you go into System Preferences, Keyboards, and Shortcuts, here is something that is awesome. Let me see. App Shortcuts. Yeah. So here's my FileMaker Pro. What you do in here. So let's say, okay, so it's I decided what should be here. So let's say, let's find something that doesn't have a shortcut. That is, okay, view as, no, ruler. Let's find something for ruler. There's no shortcuts. This is easy. So the only thing you do is saying, okay, inside FileMaker, FileMaker Pro, it says here, you can choose another application if you want the shortcut to be there, but it's in here. So you just need to enter the exact name of the menu command that you want to add. So that was ruler, and let's just double check view, ruler, no extra dots or anything, ruler. Yeah, let's go back. And what should the keyboard shortcut be? So let's say Shift Command R. How about that?
That's nice. I like that one.
For example, which is, okay, that was.
There it is.
There it is, right?
Yep.
Did I go to layout mode? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, actually, I didn't knew that we could use ruler. Okay, so this was really stupid because this shortcut was refresh window. Stupid. Okay, so let's
Yeah,
let's go and edit that.
That's the danger of
Right.
that. Danger of that, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's change it to Command Shift R instead. Okay. Huh? What happened here? Okay. Command. Sure. Okay. So now it's working. Should be working. It's not working all the time. Anyway, this was a really bad example, apparently. So
that's fine.
So,
No, we get the idea.
but-
Getting keyboard
anyway,
shortcuts is important.
yeah.
This is very important.
So another thing I really like about this approach is that, okay, so let's say we have something in here like, come on, like we need to align stuff, right? So we have three different objects. And I want them to align at the top, and I want them to be just as high and just as wide. So now I did that just with shortcuts, right? And this is again something. It's in arrange, resize to smallest view. I've set up something that fits for me. Shift Command and then using the arrow keys here for smallest width, smallest height, or width and height here, or align to left centers, right centers, top or bottom. And then it's not that often I'm using middle and center, so I don't have assigned any shortcuts for that.
Yep.
But this is a place where you can go crazy. I would recommend that you start with something that you're using all the time, like the script debugger and data viewer.
Yeah,
right?
those are everyone's uses those all the time. We live on those, and it's
exactly.
In fact, I'm embarrassed
it's
to say that I hadn't thought of this. I mean, having a shortcut. It's like, duh. Okay.
Yeah, because we are using the mouse all the time, and we don't want to have a mouse arm. Sounds stupid. Probably a better expression in English. But we need to take care of our bodies and reduce the number of times we are using the mouse all over. And again, when you have the shortcuts, it's like copy and paste. Those are shortcuts that are just on our spine. We can do it in our sleep, right? But if we have something in here like managed database, thank you, FileMaker. They already did that, but let's say custom functions, for example. If you're a guy that are doing custom functions very much, then first go up to File, Manage, and then custom menus. No, it was, and then back, and then custom function. Thank you very much. Right. So a shortcut for that would be awesome. Right.
You already put.
Okay,
we caught something here. I just thought I'd point this out. You put, this is not a normal shortcut. I'm always looking for that. That's a shortcut right there. Just so you know, I just checked that.
Really?
Yes, you put that in there yourself. I was like, because earlier today I was thinking, God, I really wish I had a shortcut for security.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's right, because you should apply security all the time.
All the time.
It should be easy to get. Yeah.
People are over here watching me. I had to make you smaller, and I went over to verify what I was saying. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No,
that's right. Yeah, I did that.
You use it so much, you forgot that you did it. You forgot you did it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Actually, here's a good one. Right. So conditional formatting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So which was a really bad example. Let's say there was a field here, something ugly, whatever, and we need to apply conditional formatting. So this was one way of getting into conditional formatting. Thank you. Or you could go up here and go format, and then conditional formatting, and then and then you're in there.
Yeah.
Or you can just use the hey, what was it?
Yeah, that's
C
a
for
handful.
conditional, of course. There.
Okay.
So just select the object and
That's another
use
one.
the
Conditional formatting
shortcut.
is a giant. That was a giant. The security and that one are both giant pains in the. So these are
Yeah.
good. These are really good.
As long as you can find the name up here, then you
Mhm.
can assign a shortcut for it. So yeah, it's actually the same with button setup. Now we are not using it very much, but if you have, let's say this is a, okay, no, so it's not the button setup, it's something in here, for example. So the button in here, you cannot reach the button setup in here, right? There's conditional formatting, but
Yep.
I can't reach the button setup.
Mm.
And if it's a grouped object and so on, then it's not handy to double click on it.
Nope.
If you have grouped a lot of objects. So anyway,
Those are good ones. I like that a lot. I like that a
yeah,
lot.
but again, just do to your likings. My only suggestion is that start with one, maybe two, and then when you're comfortable with that, then add the next one and try to figure out how much time you're using on that. Okay, anyway, okay, I actually had a very long list, so let's dive quickly into it. So this is our toolbox. I'm not going to give away this toolbox, but I'm going to show you a handful of the functionality in there. It's plain and simple functionality, to be honest, and several of the features, tips, and tricks can actually be found. Oh, let me just resize that. Can be found on the Brain Baskets, where you can download it for free. Well, not completely free, but you give us your email address and then
Yeah,
you
it's
get it.
free enough. That's mostly free. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's be aware, right? So you know what be aware is. Actually, Richard, you've seen this before. It was
We made a video
the
on this a
basic.
long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A very long time ago, and that was about the icon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So actually, we took the same file and just built on top of that. So that's why something is similar. This is a tool that is internal. So you know how it is. It never get finished, and there's but everyone can just add on it whenever they want to. But anyway, we have a gallery section where we can add a couple of buttons in here. Let's say this is a nice selection. We have a ton of objects, so I can just say get selected icons into a collection. Now we got that. And
okay.
let me go into this one and say I would like to use those icons in here. So I just paste it and delete it. And if I put in a button in here and say, hey,
Yep, there
what
they
about
are.
these?
Yep.
There they are. Right? So I just put them in, these three icons that I had in my collection.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have this one. So some of the guys just built in the. This is a really cool, very very long list. It's a JSON. What's the name of it? Data tables, of course. It's a JavaScript edition that you can add in, and you can customize it a lot, but you can go in and say, okay, let me see, do we have something icon with, okay, let's say that, okay, I need an icon with database, so I can just search and then I have all the icons, and maybe I can find, say, yeah, this one, and maybe actually it's better with the check mark and the attention, and no, you're not allowed to use that anyway. Edit, yeah, sure, they look alike. So I have a collection in here. This is a really cool, the data tables is a really cool and super fast way of, when you have a list, to modify that. Anyway, that was just the gallery. The data tables is something you can get from anywhere. Then we built something on top of it in order to say, hey, this ID, we need to take that ID, and everything lives in a table in here somewhere.
Real quick about the gallery,
yeah.
you can download that from the Brain Basket, right?
Exactly.
Correct? Someone just asked.
Yeah, you can download that from the Brain Basket, and that's the. It's actually not this what we're looking at here. It's a more simplistic one. It should be somewhere. Can't. It's maybe it's in here. Gallery detail backup. It sounds like that. Yeah. So it's basically what you see in here. That's what you get in the Brain Baskets, but it still has the functionality to get the found icons into a collection, and then you can copy and paste it in to another solution. Okay, so that was the gallery. Now, as I said before, we have something in here that is a FileMaker object. When you have a FileMaker object, that is basically a clip, right? So where we have this Clipbox tool, which is nice, and I can share it with myself, even on multiple computers. But what if I work with a team? Or maybe if you're a one-man band, maybe you have a good colleague where you want to share that. So you're two one-man bands sharing together, and a great way to share, or great place to share, is inside a FileMaker solution, right? So let's say I have something here. It's just a FileMaker solution. So let's say I have, this one is nice, right? So I copy this. Let's say this was a great object. Then we have this clips, which is basically a just create a new record and say what is the type here. It is a layout object. Insert the clip, come on, and then I can actually see in here, here's the XML, because that's the beauty of the stuff we can copy and paste inside FileMaker, is that this is XML, right? And XML is easy to look at. So we can put it in here, and I can, okay, so that was another cool thing. This is TextMate, which is a text editor, right? And I'm gonna show you in a bit why it's actually a pretty cool tool. So as you can see, here is a ton of XML just for that object, 4,910 lines. And you're gonna think, oh my God, there's a ton of stuff in here. And sure, there is, but you can go in and see, okay, here is actually a calculation in here. Date equals get value, another calculation in here, blah, 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 and so on. You can even see in here that there is a lot of CSS, custom CSS for a lot of objects. That's why it is so big, right? But the fun thing is that this is FM XML snippets type layout objects list, and then there's even the position in here. So you can go in and manipulate this. For sure, it takes some time to go in and really understand all the bits and pieces in here. But the great thing is that this is XML. XML is nothing other than just simple text. So whenever I have copied something, I can go in here and say, let me paste it, and then I can give it a name, something. We just paste it. No, it was actually a mini calendar object, right? So this is basically just a place to keep all the clips that we think we should use for another episode or in another place. The great thing is that whenever I'm doing something where I have an object or a collection of objects or a cool script or something like that, I can go and add it to our toolbox. And then my colleagues can go in and say, hey, I need something. There was something. There was a good object. There was a good script, a good object, a good custom function, whatever. I can use that. So this is kind of cool, I think.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Let me. Well, just in a second, because I just want to show the script. If I can find it. Hang on. That's a great way of finding it. Insert clip, right? So here is the script. So the type is based on something in here, if it's a table and so on. And I'm actually using, we are using the base elements clipboard get text. I know MBS has a function that is doing the same thing. And then you need to know the type, and there is a bug in some of the free tools on the Brain Basket because it can be slightly different on Windows. I can't remember the details right now, but I think there's a comment. Sorry, Richard.
No. Well, I mean, so let's talk about the Brain Basket a little bit. I know you have other things on your list, but I want to make sure that people can come and find your stuff before they wander off the show. Find the brain. So the Brain Basket. Someone said, "Well, what's the Brain Basket? Is it a product?" No, this is Klaus's blog blog area, right? This is where you put your blogs
Sure.
in your files.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
samples and things that are in here. There was a question that that file that you've created, you're not giving it away. Is it available for sale? Is the other question I saw floating through.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But everything. Well, I can help you build the functionality. I would say that, well, the gallery part is probably what takes longest time. You saw the script here. That was a very simple script. The other scripts are extremely simple. And then it's just a couple of tables with a couple of fields to store data. So it's super, super simple. And even the complicated stuff is, you can find some of it on the Brain Basket, most of it on the Brain Basket. So that's why I'm saying so. So for example, the first one, I'm going to get back to that insert text helper tool. I'm going to get back to that, right?
Okay.
But it's in there, and we also use it. I just want to show something I believe is a little bit cool. I'm going to do it pretty speedy. So I have a solution in here. I have something called documents here, which is a table that refers to a document table. There's a popover that is showing a couple of fields and then a preview of the tool here. And then we have some scripts that is attached to. So when I do, naturally, this is attached to a TO that is attached to the base table I'm at here.
Sure.
So let's say I want to add the documents here. This document module or functionality is actually pretty cool. Okay, that was another thing. Let me just say, I just had a colleague asking me, how did you do that? So if you're holding Shift and Command and then click and drag, then you're selecting everything that is inside the whatever you drag around. If you just use drag around, without holding Shift and Command, then you're selecting everything, including the background. Okay. Anyway, so I think this is a pretty cool tool, this document. So I want to use that in another place, in another layout, attached to another, well, we call it module. So we are on the model. I just selected it and copy it. And that's really great, right? Because I have it here on my clipboard. so I can use it without, I can always get back to it. So let's say I want to go to contacts, and here's note documents. So I want to do that here. I want to add another tab here saying documents, for example, right? So I have another tab panel here. And now I can paste it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happened here?
Yeah.
Okay, here we got it, right? So I want to add it in here, but now I have to modify this. So I have to double click and say, oh, so what
Yep.
was the TO? So
Yep.
the TO I know was doc. So here it is. Great, it's in here. But now the sorting. Oh, I need to change that as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sorting. There's even filter on.
Yep.
Awesome, right?
Could be a lot of work. Could be a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it's actually a lot of work, right? But let's make it more. And then I have the buttons here. I could have a okay. So there was no specific script parameter that has anything specific for the contexts. But anyway, that could be, right? So let's just go and say no, undo. But I have it on my pasteboard, right? So let me just put this aside and say clip manipulator, and this is a layout object. I'm gonna insert clip, and here I have the XML, right? So what happens here is that, and this is not finished. That's the beauty. So you can see something is not right here, but what is right is that I copy it from this one, and I have some TOs here. I need to modify them, and we are in the context of CON. Okay, and this is of course just our naming convention, right? But you can apply that. So basically, in this clip, there's TOs that is referencing to mod_doc and mod_sys. And now I need to use this object in another context of con_doc and the con_sys. Right, so let me just substitute TO names. Yes, please do that. Done. And then copy the clip. Now I'm gonna go back here and say, let me paste it in. Okay. Oh, what happened here? Con_doc. Right, so it changed in here. What about the sorting? The sorting is now fixed. The filtering is now fixed. The fields is now fixed. They are attached to the right TO. Everything is attached to the right TO. So now I just added a feature on another module, right? Cool.
No, it's very cool. In fact, there was a question on YouTube, and once again, it's why I'm watching you with one eye and the other eye. I'm talking to. There's a newer developer here named IT Gaming Access is the person's call sign, and he's been learning FileMaker. And he had a question right before he went through this. He goes, "What do we gain from using XML?" And I wrote an answer, and then you demoed this. And the idea with XML, I'm just going to say this for him real quick, is you copy it out of FileMaker, you take it to a text editor, you alter it however you want to alter it, and he demonstrated that by changing the table occurrences. It fixes all those references in that text. Then you take it back to FileMaker. So it's out of FileMaker into a text editor. You alter it. This is essentially a text editor over here he's playing with it,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
It finds these things that you want to change. You change them. It does a giant global replace over here. Then you take this modified text, stick it back into FileMaker, and you saved yourself 15, 20 minutes of work. So potentially.
Or more.
Or more,
depending on, or even more, right? So actually, another probably not here, but okay. So years ago, I had So you can see there is actually still some objects in here. Let me see if I can select these. It was a popover. Great. Here, so I have a conditional formatting. If formula is Windows, that's a custom function. So if you are running on Windows, then replace to Tahoma. So all that sounded like a great idea 7, 8, 10 years ago. but it turns out that when you have all these conditional formatting, you're actually stealing a lot of energy. So what we really want is to remove these formula is windows, right? So we want to replace that. So as you can see, there's several objects that has that formatting. I'm sure if we see it here, there's so many places in here. So what I can do is actually select everything. I'm going to copy it. Okay, this is a big chunk.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Where did it go? Here did it go, right? So let's just make sure it's empty. And then I'm say insert clip. It takes a little bit of time because it was a big chunk. And okay, maybe it was too big.
That's fine.
Anyway,
it'll probably work. Just give it a minute. I'm not in a giant hurry here, so that's fine.
Actually, I think I still extraction. No. Okay. Anyway. Let's see.
It would probably work if you gave it a couple minutes. Sometimes that does happen.
Okay. Yeah. It was maybe a little too optimistic, but the idea is that you get it in here and then you can grab it from there and put it into the viewer here. And actually, I know I have this because I did this earlier today. Where is it?
People are thanking you, by the way. WJ Warner says thank you. He's loving it, Klaus.
Okay, I can't find it. Of course, I can't.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Anyway,
we're gonna have to give you some therapy here. Mandatory therapy.
Okay. Anyway, here it is.
Right? Oh, there we go. And look at all that. Look at all that. That's a huge list. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Okay, and if we're seeing, okay, so 20.
Okay, stop.
30,
look at the line numbers over here. 22,000 lines. 23. I mean, right?
Almost 23,000.
Okay. Yeah. So to be very clear, he copied. So this is WJ or IT Gaming, right? So can you go back over here, just educational for the newer people here, real quick? Come back on the layout, real quick. Sure. So to describe the layout wherever it went in FileMaker, all these little boxes and all the positioning and all the colors and everything here took 23,000 lines. I'll just say of code. It's XML. It's kind of XML. It's this kind of pseudo XML stuff that Claris created. But this is big because even those 23,000 lines, we have powerful computers. We should be able to handle 23,000 lines of code, and clearly it is. That's the benefit of this. So leave it to the brand new guy, a guy or gal, I don't know who this is on YouTube, to ask the important question, which was really good question and a great demo at the same time. So, Kyle,
my point was.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, okay, so we have this conditional formatting item in here. Condition, I can find down here, blah, 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 blah. Item. Okay, so actually this block from item, right? Or maybe it needs to take this. So that was my conditional formatting where I said, okay, if we are running on a Windows, then change the font family to Tahoma. We can actually see Tahoma in here, and there's some funny characters as well, but you don't have to get lost in that. The thing is that you can actually just take this and say, okay, let's say we want to do a find and replace with nothing. Replace everything. Thank you very much. It was replaced all over, and now I can take everything, copy it, send it back to here. Come on, yeah. And it's a little bit slow because
there it goes.
A lot of data.
You got it.
And then I can, okay, I'm not going to show you, but I can copy the clip and paste it back into my layout, right? You can even, good idea, make a copy of the layout just to be sure. that you don't f up anything, right?
Yes.
But the great thing, okay, this was a little bit extreme, but that's the potential of the tool. I really much like the idea of doing some modules like the documents, and then whenever the customer say, hey, it would be nice to have a documents module in here, then hey, pretty easy to add, right? So so that was the potential. And just to show you that the only thing we are doing in here, let me bring up substitute in here, right? So the only thing we are doing is saying put into a variable the TO names here, and then from that field, what are the new TO names? Because that was just something you can do whatever you want with this. But basically just list those two fields into variables. Then there's some dialog just to make sure that you're not going to swap anything. And then we're going to freeze, and then we are doing a loop in here. What loop is saying what is the old content, what's the new value, and then we are setting the field, the big field, and saying do a substitute of the content of this field with the old value to replace with the new value. So nothing more than that, and then just looping through the list here where you should have the same number of values. There's nothing more to it. The other one, and then blah blah blah, whatever. Yeah, then I'm gonna clean up something, but that's it. There's nothing more in this. Yeah, the other one here, you can just put in something, a pattern to search for, and what should it be replaced with, and then the button is basically just some custom dialogues, but then it's just say, hey, let's just replace stuff in here with whatever is in the search, and then substitute with the value and replace, and then bam, you're done, and then just clear up the field. So that's what I mean. This is so super simple to build this tool. The only thing that is a little bit hard is about the different types of objects. Base Elements, whose plugin I'm using, has some documentation on their website. When you download their great plugin, you can find some documentation there. There's also something on the Brain Basket with in some of the comments. There's some great people who has added that. So that was that tool, right?
Yep.
Then we have a files, and that is basically just some modules, tips and tricks. We have a country table that is just a file with all the countries in the world with their apparently not everyone, 236. There's 2 and 3 country codes, country codes, like US and USA, I guess, phone prefix and so on, top level domain. So this is handy, and sometimes you need to add that to a solution. Then we can just go in and pick it in here. There's some other stuff in here, blah, 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 whatever. Some small modules that is just in a file that we have in here. Then we have our modules, like we have, let's say, blah, 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 blah. This is basically our add-on modules. So we have a repository of different ones. So let me see. Yeah, so this is the calendar. So this is our full-blown calendar solution. So there's some information, right? But then, and this is great because we have, so here there's apparently 12 steps. So what should we do? First, we need to import custom functions. So I click here and say, okay, copy this clip. Then I go to my solution and insert the custom function. Okay, so there's some tables, copy and paste it into the new solution. Create relationships. Unfortunately, we can't copy and paste that, but here's an image of what should be done. There's some scripts here that is in here. So this is all the scripts as an XML block, right? So this is step for step. This is not as fast as doing it with the add-on module, but this tool we built before the add-on modules, and the add-on modules is still not fully baked. So notes, for example, yeah, this sounds really stupid, but actually, my colleague had a question saying we need to count the month between two dates, and it will typically be somewhere around 14 to 18 months, so ranging over more than one day. And then we went in and found a custom function that was written by the late Winfried Huslik.
Oh, okay.
Great one that
Winfried,
just
okay.
fits. Yeah, Winfried. And well, that was to calculate the age between probably a person's birthday and today. But he had a great function in there that we could use, and then we did this on my computer because we were at the office together. And then when we have tested this and said, yeah, this is working, we just put it into this notes field, so he could grab the custom function was, of course, just to grab inside here custom functions, where we put it in, and then the calculation was here that we already tested on my machine. The thing is that this is FileMaker. We can share with each other and everything. It's actually a pretty cool tool, this FileMaker stuff, right? Then we have something we call Treasure Chest. I think you call it Dead Birds Friday or Dead Birds Repository.
Oh, Dead Bird Repository. Yeah. It's like a junk drawer. People have a house and they have a drawer where they just throw everything in there. They don't know where it goes. Yeah.
We don't have so much in there, I see, but whatever. So here we have the insert text. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. Let me see if I can. No. We are out of time, right?
Yeah, we're out of time,
okay.
and we're still wondering why you won't sell this to us, but that's fine. It's no big deal.
So that's basically the insert text helper tool. Just to be in short, if you have the insert text, this is pretty cool because you can set it into a variable now, right? And then you have this one. So let's say you need a JavaScript file to use in a web viewer or whatever. Then this would be cool. However, let me just put in, let's say this one, right? That was really big. Oh, okay. So we exceeded 30,000 characters. So what to do? Yep. Well, that's actually just a UI limit. That's not a limit of the script step. So what we do is actually you put it into a field that can hold more than 30,000 characters, and then we are creating the insert text script step. So what's the variable? Blah 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 in there, and now it's in here. So I can go and paste it into another one. So you can see it's placed on my clipboard here. So you have it in here, so you can get around the limitation. Okay. Function helper is actually also pretty cool. So let's say we have a while, and say we need to have 10 variables of while. So let's bring up the calculation in here, and then we set it in. So this is a variable helper tool compared to my typinator tool before. Because I said I need 10 variables, so the tool here is just giving me 10 variables, right? You can do that for the let statement as well, right? You have 10 variables results.
Yep.
So this is a nice little helper tool. It's doing some other stuff with JSON and so on. So this is a helper tool. So in order to help you with especially the syntax, and then to save you time, right? So this was built by Alberto from our team, pretty clever guy. And then we have our knowledge base where we store every single thing, also like whatever. So the FileMaker cache needs to be cleaned very often. So we even put in we did something package up a description and a helper tool for our customers to get rid of that very easily. So we just have it in here so we can get to it very fast, or we could have something like web direct. I know fix is broken. Okay, that was not very important. Web viewers and web direct, there's some links here. So Lion did something great there. So it's sometimes some links or, whatever. Remove all special characters, whatever knowledge base. So FileMaker or Claris has a huge knowledge base, but not all articles is that interesting. Some are not. And then on the whole wild internet, there's some other great stuff that is interesting to get, right? So we just compile it in here. This toolbox, well, hey, man, it's just a simple table with a couple of fields and then do some layout work to your liking. So the idea is just, it's not so much about our toolbox here. It's more about saying, hey, use the tool that you are using to build solution for your customers and colleagues. Use that as well as a toolbox for yourself, because it's actually pretty cool, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I have one thing, this text made. So if you noticed, it says FileMaker down here, right? FileMaker Clipboard, actually. So this is FileMaker Clipboard. And then we have the formatting in here that fits with the FileMaker Clipboard. You can also use all kinds of other application or coding languages, like XML. You could have chosen that.
FileMaker hash, I like that one.
Here's FileMaker, right? And how did I get this? Because this is not installed by default. So our great friends at Beeswax has created this bundle that you can go in, and it's free. So you can go in and find it on their website. These links, again, are in my notes that Margaret will post.
Okay, Margaret, can you copy and post those notes now, please?
Yes, I was waiting until the end, but now
go.
I can post.
We're past the end. Yeah,
yes.
Keep going, post now, please.
Yeah. So this was really cool, and then okay. Oh, can I just show one little cool thing?
No, you're good. Go for it.
Okay, sorry to misuse everybody's time. Okay, so down here I have FileMaker Pro open, right? But then I'm gonna go into define database in here, and I need to do something, but I cannot test if that was right. I don't want to close it yet because I need to test something, right? Which is very inconvenient. Then buy another computer, then you can test on the hosted file in browse mode at the same time as you're in a calculation or whatever. Or what if we could run multiply instances of FileMaker on the same computer? Okay, maybe everyone knows this, but I think it's pretty cool. So how to do that? Well, this is the terminal. So just fire in a small little command here. Open, yeah, sure. N for new instance. What? An application called FileMaker Pro.app. So I just did that, and now we are launching a. Come on. And it jumped up on the other screen. So as you can see, we have FileMaker Pro, and I can launch it again and again, right? And we all love these command line commands, right? So everyone can do that.
Yep.
Open -N-A, and then the path to the FileMaker, okay, application. But what if we could do it a little bit smarter, which we can? So let's bring up our here our automator, which is a FileMaker tool. Automator. No, it's not a FileMaker. It's an Apple tool. The automator, and say we want to build an application. Choose, yeah. So let's say it's shell, run shell script, right? And we need to set it to bin bash because I'm not gonna go into that. So open -N-A, and then applicate. Oh, actually, why I'm doing this when I can just copy and paste it from here,
Okay.
right? So let me say, put it in here. Nice. Okay. So here it is. So let's go ahead and save that. Save. Okay. And I said I want it as an application. I want it on my desktop. Launch a new instance of FMP. Right. So there we go. Here's my application. Launch a new instance of FMP. I just double click and ba-ba-da-bam. Here we have FileMaker. And not only that, but I can do it again. And
Wow.
here's the third copy. Yeah, you get my point, right?
Wow.
Here's the fourth copy, right? So you can actually test as a user Karen and Peter and Dennis and whatever at the same time, right? So, well, switching around, and it helps having more than one screen. But I think this is actually pretty cool. This is a standard feature of Apple, of the Mac. So it's nothing new. It has been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's been around for a while. I know people that they normally will number the versions of FileMaker, and they will be running 3 or 4 or 5 different versions, testing things with different versions. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and you can do that, but yeah. And as you can see, I have my own Apple script application there, but I just wanted to show you how to build that. Bin bash, and then here's the command.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's a good one. I like that.
It's a very simple command, right?
Okay.
And if you can do it with FileMaker, you can do it with any application. So if you have any other application where it makes sense to run more than one instance of the application, then here's the recipe. So
perfect,
simple, right?
And that's a good tool. Does that tool still work, by the way, down here? Does that still work?
I just wanted to show. Yeah, it does.
Okay, good.
It's a preference panel you can get if you get the Xcode tool, which means that you need to be an Apple developer. I think it's $99 a year. But if you want to pay that, maybe they have something free. I'm not sure, but you can get this network link conditioner, and this is pretty cool. In order to test how is your FileMaker solution performing under network conditions.
Yes.
So this and you can customize that. You can use some profiles, very bad network or high latency DNS and so on.
So we talked about this yesterday, everyone. For those of you who are here, we talked about not the link conditioner, but we talked about what network speeds were acceptable, and this is how you simulate those. Sort of bad network things, including packets dropped, right? So he has no drop packets, but FileMaker starts having a real problem if you don't have at least 90% delivery or you have a 10% failure, right? You start to see problems with that. So, yeah, that's a good tool that'll simulate it on the Mac. That's a good one. I like that one very much. All right, cool.
Just remember to turn it off. Right.
Yes, we've had that problem too. Like, why does my Mac suck so much? All right, so there's a question on Twitch, which was Pathupa. Automator lets you assign a shortcut question mark. That's what that was their question.
No, it does. No, you can make a new document in here. You can decide if it's a workflow. Then you can go back and edit. You can do it as an application. It's a quick action. I think that is maybe in the touch bar if you have something like that. I haven't done this. If it makes sense to do something with a print plugin, you can do that, or a folder action. Well, in this case, the application makes sense, but you could, let's say you have a bunch of images that you want to resize or you want to do something about that, then it makes sense to build a folder action. You could also have a calendar alarm that is doing something, and then it is being plugged into the calendar, and then you can schedule it. So you can do these different types of things, but there's no shortcuts for that.
Okay, no shortcuts for that. Okay.
Or actually, that's not true. That's not true. Okay, because sorry, So, for example, okay, I'm used to having to press F4 in order to get a calculator. So now I need to go in here and say calculator, or I can just use my F4 and then it pops up. And how did I do that? Well, back to the keyboard, shortcuts, and then I say F4. Where was it? I think it was just in here. No. Where did I put it?
Where's the
Somewhere.
calculator?
Somewhere I put in F5, F4 should launch the
open
calculator somewhere. You can add it somewhere. Here.
Oh, there it is.
General.
Yeah.
There it is. Launch calculator. So I just did that in here and use this shortcut stuff. Actually, there is some text expander stuff in here where you can kind of do something where if you type something, replace with something else. So you can do that to some degree of what I showed in the Typinator or text expander or whatever.
Cool.
Right. So just final notes, there's 3 great products, Inspector Pro from Beeswax, the FM Perception, and the base elements. If you haven't been, if you're doing serious development and you haven't been looking into any of one of these 3, then please go in because they are awesome tools to inspect your solution.
Absolutely. Yep. No, we use base elements. I think Josh Ormond was really high on the FM Perception product. He was here a couple days ago, or not. Well, he just chimed in on Discord. But yeah, so no, it's good. Good stuff. I'm glad we have the products.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else, and I'm
okay.
but
well,
I'm the silent type.
Tomorrow is Friday, last day of the week. We'll be covering email, OAuth, because a lot of people are going to get hammered with Gmail when they shut off the free email outbound sending service without OAuth, right? And so we're trying to come up with the best way of doing that. So this is Claus Lavendt. So this is your team, right? Yes?
Yeah. So, I actually thought we had email addresses in here, but apparently
so if
not.
we want to get a hold of you, what do we say? Support at or
no.
info?
If you Claus at datamanics.com.
So first name. So Claus at datamanics.com. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah,
put that up there. Yeah. So if you are needing a FileMaker developer, and you like what you're seeing here, which I like what I see, definitely check this out, Claus at datamanics.com. If you want to try to buy something you saw because you can't find it and you want to waive cold hard cash in front of Claus, send him an email and tell him what you're willing to pay, right? You never know. Something could happen. Cool. Are you folks staying busy with your project work? Claus? Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
Busy? Good. Excellent. Thumbs up. Everyone says thank you. Good job very much. Kyle Williams, someday we're going to have to get you back here. Mark Johnson, have some of you other folks present sometime. Klaus and Richard can't do it all. David Angel says thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Stu says thank you. It's awesome stuff. All right.
Sorry so much for going overtime.
It's quite all right. We lost a couple people along the way. They died a horrible death, but we still have most of the people here. So, well, catch everyone tomorrow. Appreciate it. Have a good day. And thank you, Klaus. We'll look forward to seeing you again another time.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.